police across the country under such intense scrutiny after the death of George Floyd and other cases. Officers in Chicago continue to deal with one of the nation's highest numbers of murders, shootings, and other violent crimes on the streets. This is some new reforms have been proposed for the police force there. For more on this, let's talk to Jcat. He's president of the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police. Thank you for joining us here in the Fox News channel. Some of the new measures include anonymous citizen complaints, no longer destroying police records. You know, there's been talk of banning chokeholds, moving to throw out qualified immunity. Mr. Cannizzaro, what are you seeing in Chicago?
I see diversionary tactics by the mayor, who has absolutely no clue what she's doing. She had no plan for the riots that came upon this city a few weeks ago, and that kind of showed in what happened. You know, specific to a couple of things you addressed, the funding and all of that conversation, it makes absolutely no sense. We're under a consent decree currently. The consent decree has very specific guidelines that the department wants us to pursue as far as manpower, scheduling, etc. We do not have enough people to man basically the plan they drew up going forward. So we need more police, more equipment, not less. It's pretty disheartening. I don't know how close you're following the numbers here, but clearly, thankfully, the president is, and President Trump highlighted it. The governor and the mayor have no clue. We literally have had 12 people killed this weekend alone, yet again. Literally, we had a 20-month-old baby killed yesterday in a car with a mother who was shot. Thankfully, she survived. But just coming back from the laundromat, last night, a 10-year-old girl was hit in the head by a stray bullet through the window, minding her own business, in her home, dead. It's just bloodshed after bloodshed. The police are not the problem. The criminals are.
And what does this do when you see the attacks on police? Yes, there have been bad apples, and apples is too kind a word. I mean, there has been total misbehavior, illegal activities by some. But what does it do to police morale? When you're talking about the numbers, the staggering numbers, 490 people shot dead last year in Chicago, 18 people murdered in one weekend, not a weekend, just 24 hours on May 31st, 18 dead. It's like the president says, a war zone on the streets of your city. What does that do to morale and what your men and women have to deal with?
You know, specific to morale, it's one thing people don't even take into consideration is the fact that, yes, that one Sunday we had 18 dead. The following weekend, Father's Day weekend, we had another 18 dead and over 100 shot in Father's Day weekend. And you would think that that would be the end of it. On a Monday, during thunderstorms here, we still had another 40 people shot and 6 people dead on a Monday. It's just not going to stop. We need federal intervention. We need federal law enforcement agencies to come in here and start locking these gun violators up for serious terms, because it's not getting done in Cook County.
What are you calling on the president to do?
I would love to see him bring in more ATF, DEA, FBI, and start handing out federal gun sentences to these offenders. Because even the superintendent has said that these felons are not spending enough time in jail. State's attorney here in Cook County, who does not want to do anything about the violence except placate the squeaky wheel and keep pointing the fingers at the police. It's all smoke and mirrors. The men and women in this police department.
Let me interrupt, because the state's attorney and the prosecutors and the mayor would probably take another view and say, yes, they are doing that. But let me switch for something that gets lost in all this, and that is the minority community. By and large, in the Chicago Police Department says this, their quote, they say that by and large, the majority of the victims are young black men. As of June 15th, according to the Chicago Tribune, 254 citizens of your city have been shot dead. You're going to go past 500 if this continues. Down in Palm Beach, Latrissa Jones, she's a grandmother. Listen to this heartfelt plea from the minority community on dealing with the slaughter in your city and what's affecting minority communities across the country. Listen to Ms. Jones, and I will get your reaction to what she says.
Our kids are getting shot up just as much as these numbers you put up here. Chicago, shot, and ain't nobody doing nothing. I want to see y'all get up and start serving the people. And each and every one of you will not be re-elected to these seats if you think you're continue to take these young black kids and use them as pawns on the table.
Your response to that plea from Latrissa Jones?
I mean, it's hard not to feel the passion and just sentiment of her voice. I've always said, though, these are not aliens coming down from outer space committing these crimes. These are kids within this community. There is just a segment of our population in Chicago, and I'm highlighting Chicago Pacific, who absolutely want to just rob, steal, kill, shoot all day long. That's all they wake up doing all day long. I know people don't want to face that reality, but they're putting their heads down on pillows at one night in someone's house and looking the other way. Until we start holding a little more accountability and shame for the parents who are raising these kids, or not raising them specifically, politicians are definitely to blame, but it also starts at home. And we always neglect that part of the dynamic. But just to touch on the numbers that how crazy these numbers are. The more bloodshed there would be if the men and women in this police department weren't still going out, stopping people getting gunned up. We're on a case for a record amount of gun recoveries this year, and we still have this amount of health care. That's how crazy it is.
We're right up against the clock. John Catazera of the Fraternal Order of Police in Chicago. Thank you for joining us.